Poppins Network. This is How to Watch TV.
Welcome to How to Watch TV. My name is Joel Henderson. With me, as always,
I'm Jeremy Posidis.
he is. We watched TV this week, surprisingly. We've upgraded our set, as you can see. If you're a podcast listener, sorry, watch the video. It's on YouTube.
Right. Got some cool stuff out here.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to point it all out. I mean, if you're
No.
a TV fan, you'll be able to figure out pretty much what all the stuff is.
Yeah.
The pop-up book of the Game of Thrones is really cool, though.
Yeah, that's
just to
pretty...
point that out. That's a one book that like pops out to this whole map. It's really neat, and enabled us to like let all those figures out and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, enjoy our set and our new sign.
Yes, our new sign, courtesy of Jeremy.
Okay.
Because this is How to Watch TV with Joel and Jeremy. We tried to debate what to put on there, and that just kind of slipped out.
Right.
We have been watching The 100, which I used to call The 100.
Yeah, quickly.
As soon as I started watching it, it was, it's The 100.
Yeah. Good show.
I'm only 3 or 4 episodes in, and it's like, I don't want to say this because I'm not heaping this much praise on it, but it's Lost-ish.
Well, I think their intention.
It's got a Lost vibe to it.
I think whoever created it is a huge Lost fan.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I with this?
Yeah, absolutely. Just random shit about that show. Octavia Blake's mom was able to keep her hidden for 16 years. Nearly a record. Kane, a.k.a. Desmond, said it's nearly a record. He just, under his breath, mumbled it. So, presumably somebody else had been hidden longer than that.
Wow, okay. Well, maybe it's him.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. His mom was killed, right? Whoa.
The glowing trees were badass.
Have you met his mom?
I have not met his mom, no.
Okay. All right.
The glowing trees were awesome. I like that.
That was the butterflies, right?
Well, they were just glowing at night. The whole woods were because of the radiation.
It's impossible to talk to you about this.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Yeah,
it's okay.
We can't.
I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, because
I mean, this is something that's been out there for a while. So if
season 1 and 2 are done.
I mean, go watch it. It's pretty good stuff. If you're listening to us, I don't want to spoil anything or talk about it, but it is a really good show. It does feel real Lost-ish. I like how the title comes in real.
It's got the same kind of suspense and stuff, but again, that's high praise, and I haven't seen enough to give it a full recommendation yet.
I have, and I'll recommend it.
Did we talk about? Yeah, absolutely. Watch The 100. It's on Netflix. At least season 1, right?
Season 1. I don't know if
season 2 is out and over. It's done.
Okay, so then Netflix will be. I don't see the little other seasons.
No, so it won't show up there yet.
All right, so it's not on there yet. Yeah.
Did I mention to you the little tidbit about Walking Dead, about the bandages? Do you remember the episode where Rick had a stupid amount of bandages after
Just
the fight?
Recently?
Yeah,
yes.
and they were all symmetrical and stuff.
Yeah.
It seemed like, well, that's
the
a bit
other guy
over
had
the
the same
top.
kind of bandages on his face.
No, it was from it was an homage to a Walking Dead cover of the comic book. It had those same bandages. So it was like an iconic moment from the comic series that they recreated in the show. I thought that was kind of a cool touch.
That's neat. Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. That's in the last couple episodes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw somebody bring up something. Jim annoys me with stuff. My buddy, he's been on plenty of podcasts with me. Joel Henderson Show.
He'll be on this one eventually.
Yeah, he'll be on here at some point. I tried to voice my concern a while back when everybody was going, holy shit, there's going to be 1 billion Marvel movies and blah, blah, blah. And he always thought I was just hating. And then recently, this guy that we follow, Max Landis, son of John Landis, director of Fight Club and some other stuff. I honestly didn't look up the resume. I just heard that one thing. Just to put it in context, it's somebody who's making a bunch of cool shit right now. He says, that basically nobody's able to create anymore. Everything is having to be an adaptation of something else. He said he keeps getting a bunch of jobs because they like it, the way he pitches, but it all leans towards, okay, well, we'd like you to take this property and reimagine it or whatever, or just
Never
rewrite this
creating
script.
something new.
Yeah, and it's like way back in the day when like X-Men and all the comic kind of stuff, Superman and all that shit was coming into play. Those were all brand new characters, and it was just echoing exactly what I was trying to say, but it wasn't able to articulate properly. Way back when, around that time, I just think that we're gonna find ourselves at a shortage of new shit in a few years.
Well, I think it's already happening.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's apparent by how.
I mean, it's already happening. Like I said, I mean, how many times, like even with like Once Upon a Time, the reiterating stories like Snow White and shit like that. Like those are books are old as time, and you know what I mean. And it's those stories are still derived from those things. I think it's cool that they finally have the technology.
Yeah, to try.
visualize.
Well, they don't. Let's be very clear. Once Upon a Time does not have the technology.
No, that's not. No. Yeah, let's be clear. That's not what I was talking about. I was talking about they have the technology to visualize what Marvel was thinking as far as the comic books.
Yeah, because Once Upon a Time, the special effects suck.
They're terrible. Yeah,
they're worse green screen than I've done.
Yeah, they're terrible.
You see that? Whatever. It's terrible.
That's a show that went downhill fast.
Yeah.
But anyway, we got to move on.
But just I don't know. I worry that. I don't know. It seems like a valid concern. Like, I want people to start being able to do the next whatever or the new anything. Then,
well, I mean, even though,
but I totally get the fandom where you're going. I want to see that. It's absolutely that.
I think Game of Thrones is that, even though the story's 20 years old.
Game of Thrones is another example of what I'm saying. It's another thing that's not being able to be created now. It's a reimagining of something that was written a while back. So even anything down to that, and this is one of our favorite fucking things.
Right. It is.
So it's a problem though, because there's not going to be who's the next one writing new shit right now. Everybody's that's talented gets ported into like Damon Lindelof. Instead of doing another show like Lost, he goes into Star Trek, and then he's now doing The Leftovers. And I'm not saying those aren't great in their own right, but what I'm saying is, and Prometheus. Like, which I really enjoyed that movie too. I know if you hate it, sorry, deal with it. But talented people like that are being put into these old properties. Carlton Cuse is in Bates Motel. Like
J.J. Abrams is doing
Star Wars. I mean, I get that's not
new
even
movies though. That's new content.
Is it? They've never been out there in any form.
Not that I know of.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then by all means.
Talking about the last 3 episodes,
but it's still
not that I know of.
It's still like a continuation of an old property.
I see.
If that's how you want to tie it in.
So you're talking about like a few years ago when The Matrix came out.
Like, that's brand new.
That was brand new. Came out of nowhere.
It was awesome.
And
then they milked it for 3 movies and did that horrid architect scene, which, don't get me started, it was garbage. You couldn't understand what he said.
Yeah, I mean, that's something for discussion.
Good
for
God,
podcast,
that was so terrible.
It was still, they were still cool movies.
The movies were awesome.
The first Matrix movie blew you away.
Yeah,
right.
Because it was something that was allowed
brand
to be
new. Right, came out. Right,
There's no snooty people out there going, I know how this one goes. This is a retelling of, and I'm just like, fucking shut up. I want to enjoy the story.
But I mean, I don't know. We haven't reached the limit. Well, there's got to be some new shit coming. See, to me though, like I didn't know anything about the Game of Thrones books, so I wasn't reading those. So that to me, this is all new. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
But we could find out if we wanted to.
We could. I agree. I get that you're saying it's adapted, but the visualization of it is new.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? The way that they took and envisioned this and in the sigils and the way they built the cities and the way everything looks in the show.
But that's also potentially every single iteration of Batman. It was like, okay, well, now we're doing this one because it can be better looking on screen. And each one got progressively better. And like,
well, what are you talking about? What? I mean, because that Batman and Robin movie is regarded as one of the worst movies ever made.
Batman and Robin? Wasn't that like the second or third one, though?
No, that was like the last one with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Uma Thurman, and I think George Clooney was in it and shit.
Well, but you know what I mean. Like each one was a retelling of the same story. So not the same story exactly, but the same world and characters. Like, I want, as I was calling for at the time, I want new shit. That's all. I want like the heroes thing, or the powers thing, even though that's not it's a new story
It's
to
an
me.
old comic book,
but it's an
though.
old comic. See, God damn it.
It's comic book.
I want people to write new stuff and do new things.
There is new stuff out there. You have to
Like
look
what?
into comic books and novels and books like that. You have to read. You have to look. You have to do that.
I guess the frustrating part of that is that I would always prefer it in the visual medium every time.
But you know what? That's where the visual medium draws from for the most part. Is from
know.
books and movies and stuff.
But what I would look at that as is like spoilers. I know that sounds really stupid.
I know, but I know, but if I like the fact that I stay off the internet as far as this is concerned, and I could go find out shit. I could type in a Google question on that shit and it would answer it for me.
I don't want to know.
And I don't want to know though. No. I want to watch the show.
Absolutely. I love theorizing, but it's not the same as like a Lost where there was no answers, period. I think that's one of the things that makes that one so special to me was the fact that it was in that time capsule where nobody knew a thing about it. Yeah, I don't know. Jeremy was late today, so we ended up watching Community, Silicon Valley, and Last Man on Earth just right before we started.
Right before.
Do you want to go backwards, or do you want to go? What do you want to do? You want to talk about the Tandy Man?
The Tandy Man was funny. Okay, we'll go right into that.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go to Last Man on Earth. For some reason, the last 2 episodes of this show have been really, really good.
Well, it is new Phil. He's an asshole. He knows what he's doing exactly, and that's the thing that makes him an asshole.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what he's doing, and he's a smug prick. But that's why we care all of a sudden, because you're like, fuck that guy. I hate that guy. He's the worst. And like you start feeling for Phil. Sorry, Tandy.
Tandy.
That's
lost Jon Snow again here.
That's ridiculous that he had to change his name.
He voted his name. Well, it's ridiculous that the guy showed up and his name was Phil Miller.
I mean, and he couldn't just go by Philip.
Right.
I mean,
one of them, Philip. Like they couldn't come to that agreement, right?
Damn it! How did we not even think of that last week?
Like
Philip.
seriously,
there's your other option, Phil.
But that wouldn't have been as funny as
I know Tandy, obviously
going by his middle name.
I feel like I don't know.
The Tandy Man.
The sexy music video moment when he was getting in the shower.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Did you have a gay moment there? Is that what that was? Was that?
It was just him being jealous. That's as he was accusing him of being. Tandy was.
Right.
Yeah, he's clearly jealous of him, and so
because the guy knows how to do everything. He can fix the shower. He knows how to get the cow to move. He knows how to, you know what I'm saying, build the little enclosure for the cow. He does all this shit in like no time at all. You know, like it's hilarious.
Again, annoying that Carol is likable now, but couldn't be with Phil, and it was like her character flaw at the time. Was that she
we
could
had this discussion last week.
Oh, God, it irritates me because she's like a totally normal person.
Yeah, now she's normal, like with
like admittedly, the sex is still weird. Because as I was typing that,
but he's like, is he into it? Is that what it is?
I think he was playing along. I don't know if he's necessarily into it per se, but he's definitely. Sorry about that.
No, I'll have to wipe off my face now.
Sorry, I just. Okay. You'll have to watch the video to see what happened there.
Right.
I'm not telling you on the podcast.
It's a secret.
Yeah, I don't know. I just that really pisses me off because it was making her so freaking unlikable. And like, but it was like she was totally unaware of why she was unlikable. Anybody would have gauged Phil's first reaction to her, like about the stop signs, and they would have been like, "Oh, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter." You know, he is the only other guy on Earth. But now because the black guy's all, like, hot looking and stuff and, like, it can do stuff, all of a sudden she can be a human.
Like, when she found out that they were cheating on him, she turned into, like, a human. Like, maybe that's, like, struck her into
that was
being
the
a human
moment,
being. Yeah.
I guess. Okay, yeah, because
when
everybody's
she was,
growing.
like, yelling at him on the stairs. Like, you know, they're coming to terms with their little community or whatever.
Yeah, they're growing in this world. They're all evolving a little bit.
You think they're going to move?
I don't know.
It'd be hard to move the set, wouldn't it?
Well, no, easy. They would just not have that set there.
Well, yeah, I mean, like...
It'd be a different backdrop. That would be the brilliant thing about this show. I still think the best ending of this season would be for Phil and Todd to take off or something. Or Phil to take off and be alone again.
And just overturn the cast. I don't think they'll do that. But I guess it'd be
But then
cool.
there would be
more people? You think they would find a little more groups of people?
Absolutely, they're going to find more people.
Okay.
There's no question that somebody is taking forever to get to... Or there's a whole community of people that are going the opposite way of... where was it at? Tucson. I don't know. I just think that I would like him... I would like a big shakeup of stuff.
Okay.
But so Todd dumps Melissa before she was not going to break up with him.
Not break up with him.
Yeah, that was great.
That was good stuff.
And then they were like, he's a monster. Talking about new Phil.
Yeah.
Todd.
We got to kill this guy. I'm in.
Yeah, he had sex with everyone, Todd says right after farm night. Yeah, so that was great. The attempt at a farm and everything was jalapenos.
Yeah, he just planted them.
He's like, this and that, a little bit of everything, a little bit of the essentials. He looks, there's like 4 bags open of just jalapenos. Who the fuck wants that?
Bro, who wants jalapenos?
Just jalapenos.
In the desert, right?
Yeah. And then he finds out he was just letting them all take showers, so he wasn't fucking all of them. And then basically he did end up fucking Carol, and they're like, yeah. It got real dark, and they were just like, yeah, we should kill him.
We should kill this guy, right? It was kind of dark. The ending was kind of dark.
I mean, we know Todd can go there from Better Call Saul.
Well, yeah.
We know he can go there.
Get dark?
Yeah, he can definitely, he can pull that side off. So what if he goes crazy and kills him? And then, like, they have to deal with their first murderer. That could be interesting. Like, they could actually kill him.
Like, if they did that, like, it would make the show, like, that would probably be the end of the season shit or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting as shit.
Oh, okay.
But then everybody finds out.
That's where this show's going.
But then, like, what the hell do you do? That'd be a great plot twist to see where that would go.
Yeah.
I don't know, just a thought. So, Silicon Valley.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it was said, while considering Gavin's proposal, Richard is approached by a billionaire. So Russ Hanneman drove up listening to Nookie by Limp Bizkit, and that I don't know why that struck me as so funny. This dude is the
biggest, it was funny. And
he is a total douchebag now.
Biggest douchebag
But
ever.
he seemed cool at first. Like,
he did. But you knew that was going to go bad.
Obviously, he couldn't just be cool.
Right.
The new girl from that replaced... First of all, did you know that Christopher Evan Welch died 4 months into filming season 1?
Who did?
The guy that died in the show.
His boss, the old boss.
The original boss, the crazy eccentric billionaire guy. He died in real life.
Did he really?
Yeah, he died 4 months into filming the show, and they had to replace his character. And they decided to do that in season 2 with the yada yada girl from Seinfeld. The one that would just tell George it was his girlfriend, and she would go, yada yada yada. He took me home in the morning. So she's playing... Basically, it seems like... Because I was wondering why she feels like she's ripping off his character. Essentially, it just feels like a rehash.
That's what she's doing. That's all.
A different version of the kooky billionaire, because I don't think he was supposed to be. Obviously, he wasn't supposed to be written out. And the sad thing is, A, he didn't even get to live to see it air, and B, that would definitely have been his breakout role. He would have been huge after that. He would have been known as that character.
What did he die of? Did he die
like cancer or something?
No shit.
Something horrible. Just
that's terrible.
Relatively quickly, and
just came out of nowhere and got him. Huh?
Yeah, because they considered having him like be on a submarine, and like sending messages. Like every once in a while, and it coming through from Peter Gregory, that was his name.
Peter Gregory.
And they decided against that because they figured that the audience would know he died, and then they'd be expecting him to come back at some point, and he can't ever come back. So it just made more sense to
him actually
to refocus the crazy and to pay tribute to him in a way.
I get it.
Yeah,
it makes sense. I mean, that's a
tragedy. It happened with Spartacus, like you said.
Yeah, it did happen with. That's a really good show too. That happened. The lead character in that show died. Yeah,
That's brutal. Having to replace somebody. I hate that. It's one of the most jarring things in watching TV. I want to be immersed in it, and that takes me right out of it.
Just the actor change because it breaks that fourth wall. Like
and then you're like, "Wow!" But we know, and they're pretending they don't. Fuck this.
Yeah,
that's garbage.
But you just gotta kind of leave it at that, though. Right?
Yeah. Gavin melts down and goes on an anti-Semitic rant. Billionaires have it worse than Jews, and we didn't even do anything wrong.
Dude,
that was the fucking best.
That was the best of that part of the episode. That was my favorite part of the episode.
He just totally believed it.
Right.
And,
these are all facts.
Yeah, I'm just stating things. I'm just saying what everyone else is thinking. Like, no, you are not.
Right. No, no one else is thinking that.
And then Russ invented radio on the internet, and that's how he got his $1.2 billion, which 20 years later is now $1.4 billion, to be fair.
Right.
He's like, you do the math, and then he does the math. I mean, that was pretty hilarious, too.
Do you talk like that?
Yeah, is that how you really talk?
Is that how you really talk all the time?
And then he told him, don't do what you should do what you want to do. And he, like, took that to heart and decided to go with him, and... Then when he went back and told everybody, and they were all doing the, does he smile with his upper and lower row of teeth? How do you even do that?
Yeah, that was.
It's really hard to do.
Yeah.
Am I doing it?
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Oh, that was one of the best parts. The guy playing Dinesh tweeted that if anybody needs eyebrows, he has enough eyebrows for 5 people. I thought that was really hilarious.
He gets a lot of looks on that show where he doesn't have to say anything on camera. And they just look at his face, and I laugh out loud.
Oh, yeah, he's very expressive.
He's hilarious.
He's been on a couple episodes of Community. At least one.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been in a couple things.
He's a funny dude.
There's a stand-up special of his that you should check out.
Yeah, okay. What's his name in real life?
Kumail Nanjiani.
Okay.
It's on Netflix or something. Comedy Central.
Check it out.
I don't know. What the fuck did he do to celebrate the morning?
Right.
What's his name? Jared?
Jared.
What the fuck did he do? Is he talking about jerking off?
I celebrated early this morning.
What the fuck did he do? This guy fucks. He fucks. Talking about Jared. I keep thinking him...
just completely writes off Ehrlich. I love it.
I keep thinking of him as Gabe from The Office, because he played Gabe in The Office.
Who the guy
Jacob. Or Jared, I mean, sorry, Jared.
Oh, okay.
He played a character in The Office.
He's been in a couple things, too. You see him, and he does a good job.
Yeah. This guy fucks, what's up, Al-Qaeda, and then ignores Elrich.
Ignores Ehrlich.
Or Ehrlich, yeah. And then he kind of becomes a douche on the phone at the house, and,
gets really annoying really fast.
Yeah. Then we see Gavin in Jewish PR mode building a wall or something. He was acting all concerned. Oh, yes, very much the Jewish people. Like, totally.
This
Russ,
show is great.
Russ is the Elroy to Ehrlich's Jeff.
Russ Hanneman is...
the Elroy to Ehrlich's Jeff. Wenger from Community.
Okay.
Because Ehrlich, Russ just did not like him.
Just wrote him off.
Yeah.
Literally. Okay. I get you.
They try to make the guy that was part of the original team look smarter than he is and keep promoting him to prove that he invented Pied Piper. That's the kind of last play, but the dude's a fucking retard and there's no way it's going to work.
Right, because he's... Yeah, right.
Yeah. But that brings us to actual... what's his name? Actual Elroy. Now.
Okay.
In Community.
Going into the Community.
An ex-boyfriend lures Britta into joining Honda's Guerrera. Jesus, I can't read, apparently.
Episode 7. Did it have a title?
I didn't look for it. Oh, it was like Advanced something.
Okay.
I mean, it's another one of those. It was good. Advanced Marketing Strategy or some shit like that. I don't know. But ex-boyfriend lures Britta into joining Honda's guerrilla marketing campaign. Jeff wants Elroy to like him.
The ex-boyfriend is Subway.
Yeah, the ex-boyfriend is Subway. It took me longer than I...
it took me a minute, too.
To try to remember that that's who that was.
Right.
Elroy is not interested in hanging out. He just gets up and walks away when they were done with the actual meeting, part of the meeting. Then they went through 3 great nicknames for him. Black Pierce, Old Troy, or Shirley Without a Big Purse.
Shirley Without a Big Purse.
And then, if you noticed, I only found out because Dan Harmon copped to it on Twitter, that Jeff and... what's her name? Why can't I think of her name? Frankie. Jeff and Frankie both said kettle drums instead of steel drums. And you can, if you watch, their mouths say kettle drums. And they dubbed it over later because he realized after they finished the episode what he really meant. But I don't see why he didn't just cut to the opposite shot. Cut to the other one for a reaction shot on that word. You know what I mean? If when Jeff was saying it, you cut to her listening.
You think they did it on purpose?
I don't know. I think it was like, holy shit, we figured it out at the last minute. Like, this is supposed to be up already, and now we have to change it.
Send me on your phone saying...
Yeah. It sounds different. It doesn't sound different. It sounds fine.
Right. It sounded weird when you pointed it out.
Right?
Yeah.
It
and
looked
then they
weird.
did it. Both of them did it.
I didn't even notice that Frankie did. He
Frankie
only copped
did it
to
too. I
Jeff
keep
doing
forgetting
it.
her name.
And then, what's his name? Rick, because he has a name. He's not just... he's not Honda. I was going to call him Honda. When he was like, can I show you the seats? She's like, for 15 minutes. And then, like, seriously, we're just friends.
The Honda CRV. The way they were selling all the Honda products, that was good stuff.
Yeah, they did a great job of product integration because Honda sponsored the whole season of Community. They were one of the sponsors.
Oh
so
my God.
That's
See, I didn't know
amazing
that.
product placement. They did a great job. They made it entertaining. It's not just boom, here's Grolsch. How to Watch TV, sponsored by Grolsch. You know what I mean? Like shoehorning it in, but I
How to
am
Watch
drinking
TV
beer.
is not sponsored by Grolsch.
Correct. We were told to say that by the lawyers of Grolsch.
Right.
When they were paying Ears and Away, or what was it? Ears. I can't remember the name of the game. It was great. Ears to something.
So I forget what the name of the game was too, but that was funny.
But Chang's ahead by 3 pairs with an asterisk.
I'm cheating.
I'm cheating. Just blatant. They seem to have figured out Frankie. You know,
Yeah.
they finally got her character. Her interaction with the dean was awesome. Where she kept saying what she was trying to censor herself from saying.
Yeah.
It was all great stuff.
Yes.
And then the last note for the
Here,
episode
here.
was the guy who had to disappear at the end of the conversations.
Oh, he was.
Unbelievable. I don't know who that guy is. He looks very familiar.
He does look very familiar, but he was funny in the way. Well, you thought he was real mysterious at first, but then she catches him hiding behind. No, he's right there.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah, and then he didn't like try to hide anymore. He
Right.
just kept like looking around like they don't see me.
Right.
If I stay still, like it's a fucking T-Rex,
Dude,
and if I don't move, they won't see me.
right, dude. I mean, like, and then the last one, when he's like, he like looks around for a place to go, and then he's like tucked in behind the wall.
Yeah, and it's like you think he made it
Moving the
behind
blinds
him,
and shit.
and he's like barely
Yeah,
behind
it's a hallway. It's just like a little dip. That was funny stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Other stuff this week before we go into Game of Thrones. Anything else you watched? I know you watched Daredevil. I haven't brought myself to watch it yet. I plan on it.
Well, no, I'm not gonna
watching
keep
The
bringing
100.
it up. Okay, yeah, the 100 was good. That's the only thing I really watched.
I'm gonna
other
keep
than
watching
the
that.
other stuff that we're supposed to watch, and then
I watched a bunch of. I watched I Hate Christian Laettner, which is on Netflix, and it's really good. If you were
I
a
watched
fan of
parts of
college
that.
basketball,
But I mean, to be fair, any of those 30 for 30 movies are usually pretty good.
they were decent, but
Yeah.
that was the best one to me. I watched
Oh,
it like
okay.
4. I went on a binge of them afterwards. I
Yeah.
watched like 4 30 for 30s, and like
Really?
when Michael Jordan went to play baseball, when
That's probably been interesting.
some
I watched that
October
one.
something to do with when the Red Sox came back from 3-0 and won the World Series or won the American League Championship, and then the other one was Without Bias about Len Bias.
Okay.
That died of the cocaine overdose.
Okay.
He was supposed to be the next Michael Jordan,
Okay.
or at the same time as Michael Jordan. He was supposed to be better than Jordan or whatever, and he died the night he got signed or whatever, or got drafted to
Oh,
his home
shit.
state team. And like, it's a good
I'll
documentary. You should
that
check
one.
it out.
Yeah, any of the 30 for 30s are pretty good. I can't remember some of the ones that I've watched in the past. I think one of the ones was about Bosworth. Brian Bosworth was one of the ones I watched. I don't remember all of them. Dan Marino versus
Yeah.
Montana was a good one or something like
Check
that.
them out.
Yeah.
If you
The
like
30 for 30s
sports
are
back
good.
in the day,
They're all
because
on Netflix, yeah.
I've been trying to get into basketball recently, but it's mainly been through that. But I really do want to be able to watch basketball because I used to like watching basketball, and I miss having
The
any
Bulls are
sport.
good. The playoffs are on right now.
I don't want to be a fair weather fan, but I would like to jump back in somewhere.
Yeah.
I'd like to check out some sports. Speaking of stuff you should watch, check out this commercial for Blinkard.
How are you sleeping through this?
What's wrong?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
No, Barb?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we are back now we're joined by my cousin Miles. I'll put the most embarrassing picture we have of him on the TV behind us here while we're talking to him. How about that? Does that sound good, Miles?
That sounds fantastic.
Okay, excellent. So, Game of Thrones, we have Season 5, Episode 3, High Sparrow. The summary says, in Bravos, Arya sees the many-faced god. In King's Landing, Queen Marjorie enjoys her new husband. Tyrion and Varys walk the long bridge of Volantis. Written by David Benahoff and D.B. Weiss, directed by Mark Malloyd. Looks like Malloyd. Malloyd. Let's see. Previously on Game of Thrones, we get Ramsay Snow and Ramsay Snow / Bolton.
Yeah.
Then Jon Snow / Stark.
A little reminder of some people we haven't seen in a while.
Renly being killed.
Right.
Baelish marriage proposal accepted. Brienne is following Sansa. Is Cersei going to kill all the dwarves? The Sparrows. Whore from Highgarden. Jorah, who I asked about last week.
Right.
Betrayed Khaleesi, we get that. And a man is no one, and that is who a girl must become.
Mm-hmm. And then it goes right into Arya.
Well, the last thing I have here is that the locations were King's Landing, Moat Cailin, Winterfell, The Wall, Bravos, and Marine. And I have one question. Why is the sword broken? Does anybody
The
know?
Titan sword? I don't know.
Do you know, Miles?
Nah, not off the top of my head. I can't remember. I know it's mentioned.
Huh, well, glad we had you on. Thanks for, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, no doubt. A plethora of information over here.
I wonder if that's something that you can find out. I bet you it's in the books.
It's probably
somewhere.
It is in the books.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, you just don't remember? Psh.
No, I just can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, we start. Do you want to just go through the thing? I mean, do you have notes?
I have a few notes that I took.
If you want to prompt the conversation, that's fine by me. I have a bunch of shit, but I went through chronologically, so it makes no difference to me.
Well, I just thought, just something interesting from because I think this episode, it really kind of just moved along. Like, it was just like it showed Arya and then everything that happened to her, and then it moved to the next person.
Well, I mean, there were actual jumps back and forth. You got little inserts of like Cersei after Arya, and then it would come back to Arya later, and yeah, it did.
Okay, well, anyway, we got her sweeping, and then she was playing the game of faces.
Yeah,
like that was the mean girl that was slapping her with the stick. Like, I thought that was interesting. What is that? Is the game of faces? Is that something that they play?
Yeah, was that like a test or something like that?
Yeah,
I think they were trying to. Her answer was supposed to be, I think, no one. I'm no one.
And then she said it, but it wasn't.
She didn't believe it.
She didn't. Right. And
She doesn't believe it, right?
You have all Arya Stark's clothing. You have all Arya Stark's.
Yeah. How
things.
does no one come to be surrounded by all of Arya Stark's shit?
Right.
How about Arya dropping the giant C word when she was ready to attack that
Yeah,
girl?
she did. She slapped.
That was great.
Yeah, it was awesome. It
Yeah.
was an
I was
awesome
like,
reaction.
holy shit.
Right.
Yeah, she drops a cunt, and then she says, "Oh, you want to know who I am? Do it again, and I'll have to show you, or
Right.
you're about to find out, motherfucker."
And she's gonna grab Needle. Right.
Yeah, and I mean, I like that the moment when she when she was throwing all the stuff off the pier. I really thought, that's great because she could always, once she becomes what she's gonna become, she could always come back there and get that shit, even the stuff she threw in the water.
Do you think they're gonna know that she didn't get rid of it?
I would imagine that it seems like one of those things he will know.
I think,
but he won't say anything. He'll let it slide.
I think at the end when she's
she's exacting her revenge with Needle.
Well, I'm talking not at the end, but when she passes this test or whatever, he's gonna hand her Needle.
Oh yeah, I could
You know what
totally
I'm
see
saying?
that.
Like here,
like she earned it.
Right, you've earned it back now. Right. And maybe the coin. He'll give her coin back and shit.
That keeps reappearing. How did he get it out of the water last time?
I don't know, man.
It probably just has like a whole sack full of them,
Yeah, he's probably.
It was just a new one.
A new coin.
It wasn't even the
Just
same
give her another
coin.
one.
You think I think it's magic and shit, and it's just they have a bunch of them.
John Stark's waddling.
Like the most logical fucking
the most
answer.
Simple answer possible. Yeah, we got about 40,000 of these things in the back room.
They're not worth anything. We just keep them around. So yeah, here. Play.
Cersei with her. Well, no, Arya. She seemed fucking bored in there, and like, what was with the dude that drank out of the middle water? and then he like became catatonic, and then they took him out. Did he die?
I don't. It was hard to tell. It looked like he died.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I mean, because when she was bathing that guy in the back,
That was that same dude, wasn't it?
I don't think. No, that dude looked a lot bigger.
I think it
Okay.
was a different guy.
I
But,
wonder if
yeah,
that
they
puts him
carried
in
a
some
second
kind of
one out
weird-
later.
Weird trance or something like that, and like that, she's like, what do we do with them after we bathe them? The girl really didn't say anything,
Huh, so maybe that's how you get into the thing. I was thinking that was like that guy failed somehow, and like he drank it.
Yeah, maybe.
But maybe he's just like tripping. You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
Seriously,
seriously, like, it
maybe
was
they
all,
just
like-
gave him something from that water in the middle, and that made him trip or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Well, on these gods, all the
you just
gods
took
they
30
had in
hits
that
of
room,
acid.
was that
Yeah,
the-
you just took 30 hits of acid. Sorry.
right,
Hope you don't got anything to do for about a month.
right.
Yeah, you're fucked.
We're gonna put you in a cellar.
Cheech and Chong reference right there.
Yeah. Let's see. There's only one god. A girl knows his name, and all men know his gift. Who's Valar Doideus?
I think it's the god of death.
Well, there's the faceless god, right?
the god of many
god of
faces.
many
Many-faced
faces.
god.
The many-faced god.
Oh, there we go.
Huh. But why would she know his name? Like, I feel like there's going to be a reveal there that they're going to tell us who the many-faced
Isn't it
god is.
Valar Dohaeris?
He said Valar Doideus, and that was meant all men must serve.
All men must serve.
Yeah.
No? You serve the certain god that he's serving.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. She's trying
was
to
with the
obtain a
weeping
pretty
statue,
mystic power.
too?
That's the drowned god, right?
So
She
even her
pointed out all
statue
the
is
gods,
drowned.
and she couldn't figure out one. There was like one missing.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Cersei in the cart as people gush over Queen Marjorie outside. That made me laugh.
Oh, dude, everything that happened to Cersei made me laugh.
Yeah.
But I
Was
put
she
a-
like coming up there trying to threaten Marjorie or something like that?
I
Dude.
think
Really
that
backfired?
I think that's what she wanted to do, but all that shit was just. I mean, like Marjorie finally waited long enough to say
Oh, she
fuck
got
you
the right
back.
to her.
Yeah, I mean,
Right. What do I call you? The Queen Mother or something like that?
yeah. She said,
Yeah.
"What do I call you, Queen Mother or Dowager Queen?" I don't know what that means exactly.
I want to read one of my notes here that I put as a reaction to that scene.
Okay,
That'll be one of her last mistakes.
whose?
Marjorie's.
Oh, bullshit.
Oh,
No, Cersei's done, dude. In my estimation, again, I think Miles might know where that goes if it plays out before the amount of books that are out. However, I think that Cersei is just. I think she has a couple more tricks up her sleeve.
and I think
But-
that ending that bitch is one of them.
You think she's gonna get Marjorie before she goes?
I don't know, man.
What do you think, Miles?
I would just like to make note that even though I have read the books, things are changing quite a bit. So even my speculation now are probably not accurate.
You know what they said? They said that by next season they'll be completely off book.
Right.
Well,
So-
I mean, in the sense that they're working towards the same ending as George R. R. Martin, but they may not go exactly the same because he hasn't finished his fucking books yet.
Right.
Does that irritate you as a book reader?
A little bit, but it is what it is. I think being an enthusiast of the whole thing kind of opens my eyes a little bit to it. But
You just want to
still-
see it play out, but you would have preferred to read the book, clearly.
I would rather read the book first and then see it on the screen.
Huh. Okay, I can respect that.
Yeah, me too.
I'm
Just
gonna,
be- just
I'm gonna
because
do
that's
just
how I
the
started.
opposite, but yeah, that sounds good. I'm gonna look at it as bonus material, and I've heard there's characters left out,
Yeah, me
all
too.
kinds of shit.
Oh yeah, tons, and they've like mixed storylines together and like combined a few people together. Just random stuff like that.
We'll have to have a conversation. I don't think Joel probably would want to be involved in this, but next time I see you, we'll have to have a conversation about Cold Hands
Oh yeah,
and how he's not involved in any of this. And I think that that's a travesty. But I haven't read the books. I've just heard this from
Somebody's
somebody else.
spoiling
Somebody's
shit.
spoiling
Is
shit.
that the one that won't
there's
stop?
someone else that
Yeah.
was supposed to be in the show that isn't, and they may appear at the end of the season, but I think that's a freaking travesty.
So,
Ugh. Yeah, I can't know. I can't know.
yeah.
Tommen and what do you think about Tommen and Marjorie? Yeah, I mean, obviously has him wrapped around her finger.
Well, obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
She's sheathing him in many ways.
I mean, it was a little embarrassing. Like, I mean, that's like a kid, dude. He's like a little kid, and she's.
I just want to do this all day, every day, forever. He's like so normal. How did he end up like such like a normal, sweet kid?
I don't know.
I think Joffrey was
The other one's
tormented.
normal too. Is her daughter's normal? The only one that was fucked was Joffrey.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, Joffrey is just the whacked one, or was. Huh.
Okay.
Winterfell. I mean, what was it? Sansa was on her way with Baelish
To Moat Cailin.
to Moat Cailin. Why? I understand that it's this fantasy land, but wouldn't it have made more sense to put the towns a little bit closer together? Like, doesn't it seem like a waste of wide open spaces to have all that room in between? Couldn't they just, like, have Winterfell and then Easterfell and, you know, like, Summerfell and, like, just something else?
Well, I think by the amount of land that you control kind of dictates how much power you have.
Right.
So
The
even
north
though
is
it's
the north.
unused, it's just, like, open fields
This is
in
our
between.
land.
And, like,
Yeah.
all the houses are shoved into one fucking area.
Well, people live on the land.
Well, I mean, just imagine it back, 500 years ago, that's how it was.
Yeah, giants and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they died out.
Warlocks.
Yeah. Magic, dragons, all that
Right.
stuff. 500 years ago. Psh. More like 600. If we're being realistic, Miles.
Right.
Let's not be ridiculous.
Pardon me.
So Bolton is running Winterfell, and he's going, that's the marriage proposal. It took me an embarrassingly long, I mean, I'm talking only a couple seconds after it was like, should have been really obvious.
When he switched to Sansa.
Yeah, when it switched to Sansa and Baelish writing, when he was talking about
as it switched
I'm like,
over,
oh, okay.
As soon as he said that and then it switched to her, I went, fucking Littlefinger, you motherfucker.
I know.
Holy shit, you motherfucker. That one got me. That was a pretty big reveal to me. That marriage proposal was like, to figure out that was to Ramsay Bolton, that piece of fucking dirt. Like, oh my God, dude, that's terrible.
He's the worst. He's one of the worst people that ever lived.
Ramsay Snow?
Well, I mean, as
Ramsay
evidenced
Bolton or
by him
whatever.
fucking skinning
God,
those people, flaying them alive. That was so fucked up.
Oh my God. Dude's
He's a sick
twisted.
motherfucker.
He's a sick fuck.
And when what's his name? Reek? Well, I mean, Theon looked up at those bodies. It looked like they were burned from the back, and it reminded me so much of that.
They were totally flayed.
They were flayed. Their skin was completely
Oh, I know,
flayed
when
off.
they cut around, but I thought he was imagining the boys. Remember when he burned the two
yeah.
boys?
You're right. That's exactly what I thought too, and I think he was freaking out like
Yeah, I think he was.
He was starting to feel
remembering
guilt
that, yeah.
being in Winterfell. He's remembering how good everything was there and how much he fucked up terribly.
Yeah.
And, is beyond reproach. And when Sansa showed up,
think,
and he was like, he was digging or something, and like she walked by, and he was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But every time
You
he
think
looked
she'd
so
recognize him?
ashamed. She would have, but I don't think she
do you
did.
think like he was, but like he is now? Like I don't know if she would recognize him.
She would have given a couple minutes
Yeah.
in, you know what I mean, in context.
That she would have had him put to death right there. She knows what happened.
maybe. I don't think.
I don't know.
I don't think Ramsay will give away his little pet.
His pet, right? Maybe not. Or she, maybe she'll. I don't know, man. This Sansa thing worries me.
Do you think she's in danger with from Ramsay's ex-lover?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's what that was.
yeah.
That's who they cut to, right?
Yep.
Because I had made a note about that.
Yeah.
It was like, okay,
Fuck
well,
yeah,
the fuck's
she
that?
is. She's in danger. But dude, I think
She's
that,
in danger all over
but
the place.
They cut right. It was a clever little switch of storyline when they went from them to Brienne and Pod.
Yeah, to
Where
show that
just
they were
cut them to the
following
top of the
her,
mountain to show that they were following her.
and like she knows where they're going. That
Right.
whole shit with Podrick and her was really good. I mean, finding out that whole shitty story about the dance that her dad set up, and all the guys,
Right.
telling her, feeding her lines, and she was the happiest she'd ever been. And then boom, they're all laughing at her, and only Renly is nice to her, and she seemed to not even be bothered by the fact that it was a pity dance. Not pity, but like just he was kind, and
Right.
that's when she swore to
Like
be.
one thing I'm a little butthurt about is that the fact that she's got a fucking vengeance out for Stannis.
Why? Because you don't want her to?
That's your boy. Yeah, that's where his allegiance lies. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stannis. Hey, listen, I like Stannis a lot, man. He came around to me a lot in the last
Dude,
episode.
I'm telling you,
He's Stannis.
he really starts. He grows on you just because he's such a just person.
Yeah, I when he said he would lay down your sword at my feet and then rise John Stark, I was like, oh shit, yeah, you know. I was like, that's
right.
That's
and you know what? The best part about that is like Stannis is such a he doesn't take bullshit from anyone. He's very cold and calculated how it is, but he has such a respect for Jon Snow. Even the fact that Jon's like basically like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing this.
He has
like,
right.
Stannis respects him because he sees that Jon's such a strong person,
and he sees more out of Jon. And he gives his word, and his word is his word. When he gave his word to the Night's Watch, that's what he means, you know?
But dude, the Onion Knight gave him the out. He gave it to him on a fucking platter.
With
Jon Snow will become Jon Stark and reclaim Winterfell and then go back to the Wall. Because it's technically the shield of the realm. He could be that and justify leaving.
Of men. Yeah. I like he did. That's a very good point. During that conversation, he gave him the out. That's written into the Night's Watch pledge.
He's basically going to be the best fucker that ever did that.
Yeah.
The 998th is going to be the greatest
He's
of all.
He's going to be the greatest of all the Lord Commanders of the Night's Watch. Yep, I agree.
Well, one, Jon Snow by far, that was one of my favorite deaths. Beheadings, anything.
Oh, that was badass.
Since he brought up beheadings.
He Ned Starked that motherfucker.
Yes.
Yeah, well...
Has anybody noticed a trend this season of beheadings?
No. What do you mean?
No. Arya beheading the bird. The beheaded dwarf.
Okay.
Jon Snow beheading...
I forgot his name. It doesn't matter.
Beheading that
Janos
dude.
Flint.
I think there was
Janos
one more that
something?
Huh?
Janos?
Janos Flint.
Yeah, douchebag. Deserved everything he got.
He's the one who fucked over Ned Stark, right?
See? That's how I have written in my notes, too. This is the man who turned the City Watch against Ned Stark, so a bit of payback coming from his son.
Ned Stark his word,
that was one of my...
would fight for him.
I wrote in my notes.
Okay.
Yep. For sure. He's the one who turned the City Watch against Ned Stark.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. Okay.
And that's why Tyrion sent his ass to the wall.
Yep.
For killing the babies and for doing that shit.
Okay.
Tyrion was the one who sentenced him to the Night's Watch.
Yeah, so he refuses like a fucking dickhead.
Right. I love the look. I love the satisfied look on Jon Stark's face when he says that.
You just said it without flinching.
What?
You just said Jon Stark without flinching.
Dude, because we've been calling him Jon Stark since a long time ago.
Season 3, episode 8.
We've been calling him. I said he was going to become Jon Stark a long time ago.
But we thought he would be King of the North. It's just Lord of Winterfell.
Just Lord of Winterfell.
But he won't be. He won't be that. He'll reclaim it for his fucking family. Mm-hmm. But he's not going to live there. He's going to go back to the Wall and live out his days at the Wall. But he's going to be able to leave if he needs to. I don't know. That's just my thought on it.
I like it. You're an honorable man.
Yeah, he'll reclaim it and give it to another Stark is my guess.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's pure speculation.
Bran, maybe, for example.
His younger
brother,
Rickon Stark
I think
is
it's
alive
going to be
too.
Rickon.
Rickon Stark, yeah.
I don't think Bran's ever going to come south of the Wall again.
You don't think Bran is going to warg into a dragon?
No, I don't. Well, that's why I just finished off with. I don't think he's going to come back in his own form across the wall.
Okay.
Okay.
That's interesting.
That's an interesting to think about. So, well, I mean, like, as far as I know, he's not in the show this year, right?
No, he's not in this season. And sorry if you consider casting a spoiler, but it's casting and it's a fact. We're not getting him this year. That doesn't spoil anything. It just tells you what's happening or what isn't happening.
That's exactly what
I know. That's exactly what a spoiler is. It just tells
right.
you what happens. Don't worry about it. What's the problem?
Right.
Let's see. Where else we at here? I like that he named Alistair the First Ranger.
I thought that was cool, and I thought that Alistair having his back was fucking super awesome.
Yeah, right
the
away.
The way he fucking looked at him was like, nope, I can't help you now. You fucking stood up like that, like an idiot. You know, now you can't be my friend, you know? Mm-hmm. I honorable man. I knew he's a douchebag, but I could tell from the fight at the Wall that he had some honor.
Yeah.
He was good.
But he just didn't like. He resented
I didn't like
Jon Snow.
Yes, he did. I didn't like his character until, I forget the name of that episode now. The Watchers on the Wall.
Yeah.
I didn't like his character till that episode, and
because
then
he just seemed
when
like
he
an
fucking straight beast mode and started whooping dudes' asses.
yeah, when he was out there fighting, giving speeches, and telling everybody to I say fucking hold, you know, and the way he was he was awesome in that episode, and him having Jon Snow's back in that room was fucking sick.
A lot of that speech he gave reminded me a lot of in season 2, the Battle of the Blackwater, when the Hound was like when he was ready to lead that group outside, and he's like, "Let's fuck their corpses and shit like that."
Yeah,
let's fuck their corpses.
Right. Yeah, that was good shit. That speech, his speech in The Watchers on the Wall was good shit. And him having Jon Snow's back. Dude, the camera of Jon Snow sitting there with the cup after everybody walked out of the room, and the way he was walked up, the camera following him above his back like that, grabbing his sword. Dude, that was just fucking amazing camera work. That shit was so ridiculous.
It was Ned Stark season 1.
Yeah,
the way that he did it,
and the way with the stone, the way they put the block down, and you could see the block, and it focused in on him. Oh, dude, that shit was super. What a fucking brilliant.
The best part is like Jon Snow's been bullied and tormented his whole life, and just looked down upon, cast down upon by everyone and anyone.
By people like that motherfucker right there.
He totally could have made Sir Alistair Thorne look like a fucking asshole, a little bitch. You know, and
sent him off wherever Stannis was saying.
Right.
He made it so Janos goes, "You refusing a direct order," and
he said, "Yes, you shove your order up your bastard ass."
Okay, you know,
he almost had a smile on his face when he did it, because he's like, "Now I'm gonna cut your fucking head off, and everybody's gonna watch me do it."
Yeah.
I'm so glad he didn't show him mercy, dude. I thought for half a second.
Well, but think about that compared to Daenerys. Did she show roughly the same amount of restraint, or did she not hesitate?
She didn't hesitate.
I think Jon Snow was not going to show mercy whatsoever.
I don't think he
stopped for a second.
He did. When the dude said mercy and started crying, I think he was like, "This dude's worthless. Like he can't be a
when he then said, "I've always been afraid and I still am," and all that shit. I think that was what set him over the top.
It was like, that's it. Yeah.
He was gonna do it anyways, but I think he may have stopped.
This guy. You can't trust this guy being afraid like that. You can't in this setting. You can't trust him. Boom, gone. Yeah. Fucking Valyrian steel to the back of the fucking dome, baby.
Done.
That shit was sick, dude. So sick.
Stannis nods his approval.
Stannis nods. That was so sick, dude. What a sick ass scene. That's one of the sickest scenes so far this season. Is that him walking down them stairs and fucking grabbing his sword from fucking Gilly, or what's not Gilly? What's the dude's name? His
Sam?
No.
What?
His Stewart now. The little dude.
Oh, I don't know the kid's name. Do you know the kid's name?
He said his name more than once this episode.
Do you know the kid's name? Is he still there? Did we lose Miles?
Did we lose Miles?
You guys lost me for a second.
Oh, okay, there you are.
Okay, there he is. Okay. You know Jon Snow Stewart's name?
Ollie.
That's right. Ollie, grab my sword.
The one who killed what's her name? Ygritte.
Right. And is now Jon Snow Stewart. Yeah. What a cool scene, dude.
Yeah, it was
that was
badass.
one of my favorite scenes of the episode right there.
The High Septon of Faith of the Seven is at a brothel.
Right.
And
mocking.
Yeah.
The faith completely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't even catch that until the second viewing. That it was like the 7. Which one of the 7 do you pick? Yeah. So, the Sparrows bust in and shame him.
Yeah.
And like make him walk out naked and shit. And he gets his ass beat. Yeah, when he covers his dick, they smack him.
That was great.
It made perfect sense. I mean, fuck that guy. He's being a total hypocrite.
Right. He even says that.
What do you guys think that letter that Cersei sent to Peter said?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, because he showed up there next. He went to the small council meeting. They all laughed at him.
She said something about meeting. Make sure I'm clear about the word meeting.
No, immediately.
Immediately. Oh, yeah, immediately.
What immediately means, yeah. So he's probably going to get summoned back in a way. I think
that's what it is. He's getting summoned back.
Yeah.
She goes to the High Sparrow. Cersei does, and
who is played by an actor named Jonathan Pryce. I've been waiting for him to show up in the show because he's a really good actor.
Wasn't he in it? He wasn't in it prior?
No.
I thought she gave the impression that he was in some previous scenes. No? Okay.
New to the cast this year.
And the name was a name an enemy gave him. High Sparrow.
I like it. It's like King Turtle.
Yeah.
Sounds ridiculous. I like that. I like that he just downplayed it like that.
Yeah, and then he tells people no one is special, and they call him special for telling them so. And she put the Septon in the Red Keep dungeons, and it seems like she made a new friend. Aww.
I think, I even had in my notes here, I think she's going to ask him to be High Septon.
Okay. Yeah. Septum. Septum.
Septum. Thought it was
I think it's deviated septum.
right.
And that's like a throat thing.
Okay.
I think it's septum. I don't know. I could be totally wrong.
Yeah,
I
don't
can't
know.
hear for shit, so I don't know why I would think I know it.
But yeah, that she has some respect or has a little bit of faith in him. Maybe she'll offer him the high septum.
So we skipped over her sending the note, and she goes to the guy that's killing rats. That was the guy that made the mountain, right?
He also beheaded a rat.
Yes, he did behead a
He
rat.
beheaded a
Well,
rat
we
right
don't know
there.
that he
Yeah,
cut
well,
the head
did you,
off.
you
But
see that freaking beast of nature on
Yes.
the table behind him?
That's
Yeah.
the mountain.
is that still the mountain?
It's got to be.
I think it's yeah. I mean, it's got to be the mountain.
I think it's the mountain.
Okay,
He's still
see, I
trying
thought
to
he was
bring him
just
back to life.
Frankensteining again. Wait, the mountain. So the mountain was dead again after that fight.
Remember, you
Well,
don't
that's
remember
what
the
I'm saying.
scene
You
in
know
the
how, like,
last season where he's laying on the table?
I
and he was
remember
gonna-
that, and he
said
pumped the
won't be
green shit
same.
into him,
Yeah,
right?
but he never got back up after that. They never showed him after that.
I thought that was
No, I think
pre-fight.
I think he's Frankenstein
No,
monstering this dude.
that was after the fight. That's after he was poisoned by Oberyn.
Really?
Oberyn's blades
Okay.
were laced with poison.
I was under the impression that he did that pre-fight and made him.
No.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
So yeah, he's still on the table back there. Where was I at here? Yeah.
Thoughts on that, Miles?
No, yeah. I mean, I think he's gonna Frankenstein monster the guy and make him like Cersei's little freaking warhound.
You think it'll work out as well as Khal Drogo?
I don't know.
Khal Drogo got
not
brought
too
back to
sure.
life, and that didn't work out very well at all.
Yeah, but I think that was a little bit different.
Yeah, he didn't. That was
I think this
black
is like
magic, and
serious
this is
black
He's
magic
using
stuff.
science.
yeah.
This guy's using
Well,
science, weird
science.
mad science to bring him to life. Science.
Yeah.
It's science in their respect, yeah.
Yeah, and then we see it like twitch under the blanket. Yeah, that was badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that would have to be the mountain. I just assumed it was another thing. Sansa walking around. Yeah, let's see. Tyrion in the box.
Right.
He could not stand being in the box. I can't remember the last face I've seen that wasn't yours. I need to talk to somebody with hair. There were plenty of great little
They
one-liners.
throw digs at each other that are pretty good.
Yeah.
That bridge, the
pretty good-
bridge
pretty
to
good,
Volantis was
combination.
cool. That shot where they came along the bridge to Volantis, the big long like, where it came in over it and came in down on them.
Oh, okay. I for some reason don't remember that shot.
It was like a long. Didn't look like a bridge. It was like a bunch of houses, like where everybody lived, where they were walking through all the slaves. That's the
Yeah,
bridge
yeah,
to
yeah,
Volantis.
okay.
That's the.
Like them first before you open them.
Yeah, so they all have face tattoos for different what their job
What their job
classifications
classes
are.
are, right.
They pray to the Lord of the Light, and the preacher lady seems to recognize Tyrion when they're sitting there, right?
I didn't know about that. I think I put in my my notes. They came across another red priest.
Okay.
Tyrion mentions. Now here, I'm gonna try to get crazy on you.
Okay.
He mentions. He said the only red priest I've ever seen is so and so. I forget the name. He says, but he mentions
Thoros of Myr.
Thoros of Myr. Okay. Who
Okay.
is the guy?
There he is. I knew we got you on here for
Who is
something.
the guy that brought? Remember the guy that the Hound killed,
Okay.
and he
Eric
brought him back to
Dondarrion.
life. Eric Dondarrion. He brought him back to life.
Yeah.
That's the guy. That's the guy Tyrion's talking about. He said the only red priest I've ever seen is Thoros of Myr.
Oh, and he was not as
He-
good looking.
and he was not as good looking. So he's talking about that guy, and he mocks her. She said something because he can understand her. She's speaking in a different language.
Yeah.
He understands what she's saying.
She's-
he mocks her in
And
And
English,
she heard it.
and she hears him and looks up at him. I
okay.
think.
So then he goes to the brothel. There's a Daenerys chick in there. Everybody wants to nail her. So Tyrion pulls a play on a brunette chick and
Rightfully
decides
so, though.
what? Yeah, oh yeah. I mean,
Right.
And then he pulls a little like move where he's like, "I'd pick you any day, babe." And then
The
she's
entrance
like,
to the brothel was the best, though. You skipped over that.
What was that?
Where the big dude pats him on the head.
Oh, yeah.
Says in the other language, "It's good luck to pat a dwarf on the head."
"Even better to suck his cock."
It's even better luck to suck a dwarf's cock. Best line of the episode.
Yeah.
Do you think he turned down that whore because he still feels a commitment to Sansa?
No.
No.
I think he turned her down because
she
she's
reminded him of Shay.
No, in a way, I think he finally agrees with me on this and my stance of why I can never sleep with a prostitute. Besides the whole "my wife would be pissed" thing, the fact that they're faking it, and like I think he finally realizes now that like that's what's going on. That like they don't really like him for him, and I think he needs more than that at this point.
Right.
But that's just my opinion, my interpretation of why he was doing that, or why he said he couldn't. Thoughts?
I think that's a pretty good point, actually.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think he could do it again. I think after her, who he really believed was into him, and then she betrayed him, and blah blah blah. Like he's done.
But then he,
Well, I think
but he,
that's
then he-
two
that-
major
that
loves
ch-
in his life that he thought loved him, and they ended up being whores, and
Right.
they ended up
Yeah.
not loving
And
him.
now he this third chick, he realized a little bit. He's like, oh man, she kind of reminds me of Shay a little bit.
Yeah, I can't
and
do
I
this.
can't do this again. Right.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of all those.
Goes off to take a piss, and then
Yeah, and then Jorah's there, pops up behind him, and well, I did like how he's like, "I always pay my debts." I'm like, dude, shut up! What the fuck? Stop
Yeah, way to
teasing that
give
you're
yourself
Tyrion
away.
Lannister. God damn it! But he's like, notoriously, I always pay my debts. Like, fuck off! Everybody knows that's the Lannister slogan.
right.
Jorah's there. He kidnaps Tyrion while he's taking a piss, and he says he's taking her to Khaleesi, and I think he thinks that's his in to get back in with her.
Okay, so you don't.
We got less than
so
a
you
minute
said you're
here.
taking her to the queen. So you think that's the queen he was talking about was Khaleesi?
He's taking her to Khaleesi.
To Khaleesi. So that's
I
the
don't
only
think
queen.
he's
Yeah, I think it was meant to everyone to think that he's going to take him to Cersei, but
not
he
for a
wants to get back
second.
to Daenerys.
Well, Marjorie.
See,
well, Cersei's the one with putting the bounty on his head.
yeah, but see, he would the only queen that he believes in, I think, is.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Is that they
Khaleesi.
threw that in the show to confuse people.
I
Yeah.
think so too, but I think
I didn't
got
buy
right
it for a
away.
second.
I didn't buy it right away. He's taking
Oh yeah,
her to
no,
Khaleesi,
yeah, I
right?
knew right away that he was taking him back to Daenerys.
Right.
Okay, well, maybe you'll join us again. We'll get a better connection next week. And yeah, thanks for joining us. We'll be back next Sunday for more How to Watch TV.
Right. We're gonna keep watching the shows we're watching. I think the finale, one or two more episodes of.
Last Man
Last
on
Man on
Earth
Earth.
done next week. And yeah, tune in next time because...
This is how to watch TV.
All these memories in my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind. I'm still a secret lemonade drinker.